This is the Church of St. Paul the Apostle to the Gentiles, to the nations. He was put to death here in Rome in the year 64 under the Emperor Nero. With St. Peter, he's considered to be one of the founders of the Catholic Church. More than any other apostle, Paul of Tarsus, a Jew and a Roman citizen, brought the message of Jesus, the Lamb of God, to the world, from Jerusalem to Rome. He carried the sword of the Spirit, and he wielded that sword effectively until an executioner's sword put him to death, not far from here. His remains were placed in the cemetery over which this church is built. The church doors show the high point of Paul's life. The risen Jesus appeared to him. Early on, Paul despised Christians and their leader. On his way to the city of Damascus to hunt them down, a blazing light from heaven surrounded him. Thrown from his horse, he heard a voice, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" "Who are you, Lord?" Paul cried. "I'm Jesus, whom you persecute. Get up and go into the city where you'll be told what to do." Once his enemy, Paul became Jesus' undying friend and apostle. The last 2 years before his death, Paul was under house arrest here in Rome, still able to teach others. Then his time ran out. Inside the church, his story is told in the pictures lining its vast nave. He preached in Jewish synagogues in most of the major cities of the Roman world. His greatest success, though, was with the Gentiles, non-Jews, who flocked to listen to him. The door to faith has opened for the nations, Paul said. He was convinced that God was calling everyone, not only Jews, to be his children. New churches began in great cities like Corinth, Ephesus, Athens, Philippi. Like a runner in a race, he wanted to reach the whole world as quickly as he could to make Christ known. His letters convey his zeal. People loved him, others despised him. He had many beatings and brushes with death, he says. I received 40 lashes less one. 3 times I was beaten with rods. I was stoned once, shipwrecked 3 times. I passed a day and a night on the sea. I traveled continually, endangered by floods, robbers, my own people, the Gentiles, imperiled in the city, in the desert, at sea, in hunger and thirst, in cold and in sickness. Even under house arrest, toward the end, Paul preached the gospel. The triumphant arch of the church frames the altar and the burial place of the saint. Christ in glory calls him. Come, blessed of my Father, receive the kingdom prepared for you. The Roman Church claims Paul along with Peter as its founders and celebrates one feast for them, June the 29th. They complement each other. Paul, a complex intellectual, forging out beyond the boundaries of Judaism, restless for new worlds. Peter, the Galilean fisherman, filled with memories of Jesus, a cautious captain for the ship of the church. Their gifts are different, but we gain from both of them. Paul's sword points toward the unknown future and tells us to go out to the whole world and engage it. Peter, holding firmly the keys given to him by Jesus, calls us to remember the Good Shepherd, whose wisdom and love lasts forever. The Church treasures their different gifts.